In this video I will show you how to make your own synth presets with free Synth VSTs, Vital and Surge XT. Let's first start with Vital. I think that every beginner should start with Vital as their first synth. This is because it is very visual and easy to understand. When you load up Vital, it looks like this. This is the sound that it initially makes if you don't change anything. You can change the pitch and the volume here. The important part, however, is where it says unison. Here you can change how many voices the synth has. As you can hear, the more voices you add, the wider the synth gets. The D tune simply makes the synth out of tune. This is useful if you want to make your synth sound more human. If you don't want it to be a solve synth, you can for example pick a sine wave by clicking on this arrow or choosing from the menu. To make the synth more interesting, you can add more oscillators. An oscillator is basically just another sound. You can get a new oscillator by clicking on this button. You can change the waveform by dragging this up and down. Another important thing to remember with synths is ADSR. That stands for attack, decay, sustain and release. You can visually see it here. By changing these, you can for example change how long it takes for the synth to reach max volume, or you can change the tail of the synth. If you have a synth with a short attack and no sustain, then you have a pluck. If I make the ADSR look like this, it kind of sounds like a string instrument. To make the synth even more special, you can use LFOs. LFOs change something about the synth over time. For example, if I put an LFO here, it changes the waveform. And if I put it here, I change the volume of this specific oscillator. You can of course change how the LFO looks like. If we are happy with that, we can then move forward to the effects. Here you have a bunch of different effects to choose from. If you again click on this circle, you add an effect. You can also put LFOs on these effects. One of the most important effects is the filter effect. If you drag these boxes, you can change the order in which the effects are applied. Now that we have visually learned how to use a synth, we can move on to Surge XT. If you open up Surge XT, it looks like this. It again has the same sound to start off. It has all the same controls as Vital, but just in different places. Here's the pitch, waveform and unison detune and voices. To add another oscillator, press on this button that says 2. Then click on this M to activate the oscillator. To change how the oscillator sounds, you can click here and then select from the menu. You can change the volume of the oscillators here. Surge XT doesn't visually show the ADSR, but you can tweak these knobs instead. If you click here, where it says LFO, you notice that all the knobs become blue. The distance that you tweak the knobs is how much the LFO changes that knob. If you click here, you can change the filter. If you choose for example a low pass filter, Cutoff means at which frequency you simply cut off the synth. You can change the resonance to make it slightly different. To add effects, you should look to the right side of the screen. Click on this menu to choose an effect. To add another effect, click on one of these boxes and then click on the menu again. My favorite effect has to be Galactic in the Air Windows category. Remember to save all the presets that you make so that you can use them in your songs at some point. If you want to get more free VSTs, then check out this video.